Okay, we got the daily up on jack stands. Got the works off. They are a little curb rashed, but I bought them used, so you know, I could get a better deal. Instead of paying $2,500 for them, I paid $1,000, and you know, they do the job. They're a little curb rash, but that way it's on my daily. I don't like I've curb rashed them once because I wasn't used to the bigger body car, so it was a little. It still really upset me, but it's not like they were perfect. So, anywho, we're doing the brakes. So this is the this actually is metal on metal. That's what all that is rotor dust from it grinding. That's why I've been dailying the RX-7 for a couple days, and it's too hot. So we got all the tires off. That first time I've had it on jack stands, and we're gonna remove this trash can. I have the new calipers and rotors in there, so we'll clip to that. Okay, now that I removed that, if you remember it was the first video I did, I showed these off. And so that's the Ichiba, or the akebono, I don't know. I can't pronounce shit. But yeah, we have those fronts, and we have the rears. And then we have all drilled and slotted rotors. And then we have some Stop Tech braided lines. So I'm gonna remove the old setup on all of them, and then we'll just go ahead and throw the new setup on. Probably won't time lapse it. We'll just cut to it. So here's the old setup. Give you a comparison. OEM base, sport brakes. Hope it clears the works. Okay, first modification. This one's kind of obvious, but this heat shield protector, dust plate, whatever you want to call it, it's for the old size rotor, so I don't want to take off the whole bearing, especially since I'm all-wheel drive. I'd have to remove the axle as well. So what I'm going to do is just take 10 snips and cut that lip off. That way I still retain most of the dust shield, which is good, and I don't have to remove it, so best of both worlds. And there's the new setup. A little dirty, I'll have to clean that off. There's the stainless steel brake line installed. Let's turn the light on. There we go, now we can see. I just used PB Blaster on all the brake lines before I broke them loose, and it broke just fine as long as I used the proper wrench. It's just 10 mil. If anyone wants to know how to do this, the rear is this part number, and that's the front. Because when they sell the upgrade kit for the base to the sport, they won't tell you that part number, so you can't buy it separately. Because I spent probably a third. I picked these up for under 600. I think it was like 550. The rotors were 200, and I think the pads were 100. I think it was like 250 or 300 for all of that. So that's 900? No, 800. And then I paid 150 for these. So we have about $1,000 in this, where minimum it costs $1,500 before tax and before shipping. And what do you get? I mean, these are reman, or they're junkyard instead of reman, but I don't think that'll be an issue. That's the only thing. So you'd pay an extra $500 for that? I don't know, man. So if you want to do it this way, like I said, there's part number for the front, part number for the rear. And that's the difference. You see Nissan instead where the front is Infiniti. So I think if you bought Infiniti for the rear, it may not fit. Because those lines are for base and sport. So that's kind of what I've figured out. So we're going to try to roll the rim on right now. Those things are so sexy. I don't know. Hold on. Oh man, check that shit out. That looks so dope. And we have clearance. Not much, but we do have clearance. And that's everything's butted on. It will spin. It fills that wheel out so much better. So excited. Next is BC coilovers whenever I can buy them. And then we'll have the stance. I'll probably leave this alone because it'll be a little slower now that I'm adding all the weight for the brakes, but it's worth it. Maybe if this does make it too slow, we'll have to do some performance mods to it. Look at that one more time. Oh, sexy. And I think, like, I don't know, 2-3 hours later, we got them all together. They're bled. Here's the stainless steel. See, this backside was a little more rusty. I had a little more trouble getting it off. I had to use a lot of PB Blaster. Well, there's the stainless steel line. I bled both the front and back bleeders on all of them. Instead of pumping the brakes, I had an electric pump, but I wasn't really getting the fittings that I needed to work, nor did I have a container. We had this little, see if I can pull it out, the little manual pump, and so you squeeze it once and you crimp one side, that creates vacuum, right? And then you open the valve and it will suck out. I went through quite a bit of fluid. This jug's empty now. It was almost full. And all we got to do is put tires back on, wipe down the calipers. Of course, I want them to look better than what they do now. But yeah, pretty good day. We'll get on it again once we have it on the ground. See how it looks. Here she is outside. Is that we need those BC coilovers, but you can see I already seated them. But yeah, it's too tall. I did 18s instead of 19s because I wanted to stay with cheaper tires. But it looks so much better in the wheel well. The brakes have always been kind of bad since I bought the car, so it's definitely better. Going off of forums as well, you don't notice a huge difference, like actually slamming on the brakes, but the sensitivity of your braking is way, well, it's more sensitive is what I'm saying. And I did notice that. It does feel like I bled the brakes all the way, so that's really good. Most of the time I gotta bleed them and then, you know, test drive it, and then it feels like there's air, so I gotta bring it back in, drag it all up. This one I did right, so we're gonna pull the 7 in. Man, look at both these cars. Got that fitment going on. Yeah, I'm a fan. But it's fucking hot out here, so we're gonna close down and go home. Okay, We're in Page, Oklahoma. I just found like the definition of a toge road. We've literally just been carving up and down this mountain range, and there's even side pull-offs and stuff like that, but I figured I'd hold the camera, see if I can't record a little bit of it. We're in the G, if you can't tell, with the akebono brakes, which work phenomenal.